possibility of a sexual relationship, how the body, that's the exception Lacan gives there, it's in that book. Usually we don't pay attention because we get caught into these catchphrases of Lacan, but he spoke about these things there. It made me think, yeah, why he brings these exceptions. I'm not talking about the Catholic way that also Richard and Lacan somewhere speaks. So there is sexual relationship to produce kids, but maybe there is a sexual. This is beyond the measure. This is in the real. So what is in the real? How can we have a sexual relationship based on beyond the metric system, beyond the modulo? Modulo was a different metric system in architecture by Bazier. What's his name? He's a French guy again. But I like the way he created architecture because he went away from centimeters, away from inches, away from everything. And he says, I will measure the spaces with the length of the human body. So the modulo was the measure. He was measuring his spaces and he was doing his quite interesting projects by using the modulo. He made it like that. He could think not in centimeters, but with the human body. So what keeps a sexual relationship alive there if we have that from both partners? Could be a question. I can't.
There's a fall of the standard.
A fall off?
The standard.
Yes. Fall of the standard. If you go beyond the father, so I assume that it's knowing what to do with our real. And I would say that both of them are on the side of some sort of femininity.
Yes, if both are in a feminine position, so one of them has to give up his masculine position and go into the feminine position, yes.
Lacan speaks about both partners.
But I think when we speak about intimacy is precisely the space, an absolutely unique space of encounter where what's the masculine position? If we put it in inverted commas, it's a defense. It's a space of defense.
Yeah.
But in a place where intimacy can happen,
the masculine.
It's not necessary anymore. So it's not a matter of giving up. It's giving up your arms.
You have to accept to be also the object of the other.
But actually,
it goes in both directions.
No, those things don't, because precisely there's not objectification happening in that place. If it's intimacy, then it's not a matter of objectification. So it's simply a laying down of arms, and whatever happens, happens.
So the masculine position, it's specialized to he. Let's say he. Let's say he. What?
There's an example I've heard of recently of two famous artists, and I'm not one to glorify artists at all. I like this, and that were creating art, common art, as a duo. It's Sue Webster and what's her?
Gilbert and George?
Yes.
Yes.
So their art is all about the gruesomeness manifestations of the real. So they seemed to know what they wanted to do with the real. They created a common space of the real in their art. And they were just partners, right? And they decided to get married after 20 years of common artistic practice. And then they fell apart. The marriage fell apart. They decided to go take different paths as artists. So now they practice individually.
Well, they shouldn't get married.
Yes,
It's doomed to put them in position of masculinity and femininity.
Yeah.
Their art is full of signifiers anyway. It was just external.
Let's say that no woman will give her body and her breathing space to a man unless he can have a space for her breath. You can try that with hysterics. You can be like an avatar or something. But yeah, you can, you know, generate jouissance or whatever, but the women psyche speaks about this beyond the name of the father. So a man has learned how to fly without his body in order to receive those two gifts. Not only the body, but he has to be able to carry them. Quite a difficult task, because you have to lose that. Your sexual position is still the same. That's how far I could go. Questions? Reduction to the letter. Okay. The metaphor of the clinic, these are related to language. Signifiers, master signifiers, our interventions, whatever I said last time about somebody who was here, he said, actually, not here, he says the cat makes way for the letter. I disagree with that. The cat makes way for, you know, the master signifier to appear and have another elaborated form. You cannot, the letter functions in the sessions like the act. It does not represent itself for one another. I said about the doing. Lacan spoke about the doing and the act. The letter is the same. It has the ability, it's like a chameleon without a body. It changes its schema, its shape. It doesn't speak, but it's there. And the letter is not related to jouissance, it's not related to the body event, but it's what can cause the body eventualization. And we go to that question of what am I doing with my, not my being and my existence, what am I doing with my body? You are the source. Well, I'm putting it into an idea, but also the practice of the letter is quite tricky, so I'm not going to say more about it at this moment, but you are the source of the drive. Not a part of your body, but you. You are the source of the drive. But that drive functions differently anymore, because you are, well, yesterday Penny quoted Lacan saying that the psychoanalyst pays with his being, and I agree with that. Because you are a source of causing desire. Otherwise, you are just a guy who gets money and tries to cure people. And in the process of the years, we go through something that is faster. These things that happened the last decade, because psychoanalysis itself lost that orientation to the real. As I said, neuralisms after a bit, they don't even care about how long it will take. They come there because they feel they have this mystique thing, this magic. Better to speak of magic than science. It's the magic of the signifier. The signifier curses you, you know, gives you some position. It's the effect of speech on the body, and that's the definition of magic. So if we get caught into this capitalist system, then we have no psychoanalysis, and we lose that. We lose the breathing space of psychoanalysis. So analysts are called to go outside and breathe a little bit, do something with that. We tend to be couch potatoes. Sorry, last time I said I never heard of a psychoanalyst being a sports legend. They're not good with sports. They're not. They have difficulties with their bodies. They like chairs. They like to speak about the other, the jouissance and all this stuff. And I provoke you again to open whatever books there are there, or to participate in cartels and see that the reduction of the human experience of somebody who comes in the session goes to the foreclosure or the repression of signifiers, the relation it has with the other. It's you in the sessions, it's your body there. Of course, we should be able to testify for those things, but we don't know how to speak about life. That's where I want to end.
So, a little, one way of thinking about the letter is that the letter is the particularity of the real, as it breathes through the subject.
Breathe. Yes.
I'll say it again. The letter is the particularity of the real that breathes through the being of that particular subject.
Breathe.
Breathes through. Passes
Breathe.
through. The letter is the particularity of
Yeah.
the real that passes through or breathes through that subject. And the challenge then is for that subject to be able to act with the breath of the letter, to be able to act with that.
Yes. It's, but to reach that point, first of all, we need to analyze that they can have this dimension in their experience, and not because even if you speak too much about the other, again, I remind you of Lacan, who he closed down the school because nobody said anything else, and there were all these terms that I'm bringing here, most of them from his writings. This one is iconic. It's what comes after that. It's the subject of the act. We have the subject of the conscious, but we have that's the subject of the act, the subject of life. On means being, but this is physics. Physics. Huh? No. What's that in physics? I get it? Oh, yeah. Like a force, something. It replaces the values, let's say.
No, I mean, I think it's forced by distance.
Yes. It's forced by distance. I'm distancing myself. Yesterday I had a conversation with an analyst, quite ethical and quite nice, Lacanian. And I like it. It takes us out for food and he's willing to pay. But we do the same. But he made a question, how do you orient yourself if you, because there's this idea of you understand the structure and then you situate yourself according to that structure. That's wrong. Because the psychoanalysis, I totally disagree with the position of the psychoanalyst. It's not a position. It's not something fixed. It's not fixed with, if I have analysis, me, John, Anna, or whatever. It does not exist. Psychoanalysis has no existence. Psychoanalysis is a woman. You have it only when that moment, and you cannot repeat that. You have no existence of psychoanalysis. Why do we speak about, you need to talk, we need to mark the signifiers, it will take time. But you are putting the subject already into a context, and, you can do that.
Can I just give it a little example of a really naive intervention? It wasn't even in succession, but it seemed to have startling effects. Some years ago, I undertook a needs assessment for a young woman who was bipolar. That was the diagnosis, and the effect on study, which was my role to pinpoint, was that she was by then doing a PhD. She would crash and spend a month in bed. That was the effect of her condition on study. So I asked her whether, obviously she had accomplished quite a lot to be PhD level. So I asked her if during the times that she was up, whether she was productive enough to carry her through her studies. So in how she replied, I simply made an observation that this was a sine wave of her drive. And it was quite probable that in the high points, she was going beyond her resources, a bit like running out of fuel while you're still up in the air. So I said, you have two choices going forward. You can either organize some arbitrary limits when you're in the good phase, in the high phase. She said that she was very productive, very creative in the high points. So I said, well, you can either put an arbitrary limit so that you don't overdo it, so you don't then crash, or you can reconcile yourself that the downtime is a necessary recuperation to gather your energies again. So that was all I said. And 6 weeks later, after the assessment, I had an email, and she said, "Thank you so much for your comments. I've solved it." I don't know how she solved it, but this was a bipolar young woman, and she stabilized her bipolar. So from somehow, in other words, not pathologizing as well. I mean, that I wasn't intimidated by the down things. Take an overview. What can the subject work with, and then it does it in a way something that was on the dark side. Let's say the idea of the crash as being a devastation. I didn't read it as a devastation. It just simply was part of the contours of a drive and its movements, and that was it.
Well, I think there you introduce, to connect it with the position, it's you introduce there the concept of how to utilize kinesis, the movement. And going back to my comments, I disagree. How do you manage to be both psychiatry and psychoanalyst? Stupidest answer I get, which is logical but stupid, it's, well, that psychoanalysis is not identification, which is not, it's a position. No, it's not. I mean, people, had analysis and they say CEOs in companies, and it's the ethic they get from psychoanalysis, they utilize it everywhere. I mean, it's not, desire is not only to have desire in the sessions as an analyst. I mean, it's your way of orienting your life. So that maybe speaks of our failure to live life of psychoanalysis. To use that desire in life. Just adding something here. Let's say assume that this somehow represents the graph of desire. I put it perpendicular, not in this linearity from right to left, because the act, Lacan is very, very clear about it, does not have a repetition. So it cannot be in this. Here are things that are repeated, your Jewish and your whatever. It's an axe. The act is an axe. And has nothing to do with knowledge, has nothing to do with belief. Many analysts struggle with understand the difference between belief and knowledge, and everybody forgets that. Just read faith. I'm not speaking about religion, but faith. The people who come to you, they have faith. Not because you have some knowledge, that functions as well, but they don't come there because themselves have knowledge, because after a while they stop asking you questions, they just talk. They found it by themselves. They have faith to themselves. So you are not even a subject supposed to know. Just think about that. We don't have to make it a bit, but think of the actual practice. It's as if reading Freud. You read all these theories he makes, but when you read his cases, it's all simplified. It doesn't speak about the neurons and the body, and he speaks about language, but faith. Why do I go to astrology? Why do I go there? I have faith. It's a different type of faith there, but you have faith that they can do something for themselves. And that's the worst thing you can do to women, is to talking to men now. They think that doing everything for women is put them into a good position, but actually, if you take a position that they can do things themselves, they would appreciate you even more. So it's a different sexual relationship there. So maybe it would be in the future a good seminar to examine not the belief or knowledge of the psychoanalyst, but their faith. How much faith do you have to the process? I think we don't have. I mean, we can speak about numbers. How many analysts are in the world? I mean, if you cause desire, people are coming in the session. If you don't, you start talking about diplomas and this and the other and whatever, marketing, and basically they don't come to you because you are a boring person or whatever. I mean, why should I go to somebody who doesn't cause me desire? It's like having an arranged marriage. So I will go to that CBT guy who will tell me what to do. I don't have to think. So that's the ascetic experience related to the faith, both of the analysis, because the faith, the reduction of faith to the